The killing of 31-year-old conservative activist and Trump ally Charlie Kirk has reignited attention on a long-simmering feud within elements of the far right. The differences between Kirk and the so-called Groyper movement led by white nationalist Nick Fuentes is again back in spotlight. Nick Fuentes came back to headlines in 2022 when Donald Trump hosted him and the musician formerly known as Kanye West at his private club in Florida. Trump said the encounter with Fuentes happened inadvertently, opens new tab while he was having dinner with West. Kanye West, also known as Ye, later said, is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. But President insisted that he had no idea who his young dinner guest was. A white nationalist, Nick Fuentes repeatedly made anti-Semitic and racist comments as chronicled by the Anti-Defamation League. In 2023, Twitter suspended the account of white supremacist Nick Fuentes after he made several anti-Semitic comments. The white supremacist was suspended from a number of social media platforms for hate speech in 2020 and 2021, including Facebook and YouTube, in addition to Twitter. How was Nick Fuentes linked to Charlie Kirk? After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, online speculation has turned toward extremist factions that once targeted Kirk specifically, Fuentes' Groyper army, which has long accused him of being insufficiently radical. Social media claims are now linking the suspect in Charlie Kirk's shooting, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, to Fuentes' Groyper movement. Nick Fuentes is facing renewed scrutiny over his public feuds with Kirk, whom he labeled as a fake conservative and gatekeeper. During the 2019 Groyper Wars, Fuentes' supporters disrupted Turning Point USA events, challenging Kirk on immigration and LGBTQ rights while labeling him a gatekeeper of establishment conservatism. Charlie Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA in 2012 to drive conservative viewpoints among young people, with his natural showmanship making him a go-to spokesman on television networks. The differences and conflict within far-right is back in the spotlight with renewed scrutiny on the rhetoric and influence of Fuentes and his followers. It remains unclear what the motive was in the Kirk shooting or the political ideology of the alleged gunman. Robinson's family said he had become more political in recent years, according to police. Nick Fuentes' controversies. Nick Fuentes was raised in La Grange Park, an upper-middle-class suburb of Chicago. As a freshman at Boston University, Nick Fuentes traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia to participate in the Unite the Right rally, a gathering of violent hate groups, white nationalists, and neo-Nazis that culminated in the killing of a counter-protester and left many others injured, as per Texas Tribune. Fuentes' hateful rhetoric began to extend to Holocaust denialism. 6 million cookies? I'm not buying it, he said in 2019 in comparing baked cookies to the 6 million Jews who were exterminated by the Nazis. Fuentes represents the cutting edge of a right-wing racism that has surged over the past decade during the rise of Trump. Matt Dallek, a political historian and expert on right-wing movements at George Washington University, told NYT. And it's clear that he's becoming more prominent because these bigger influencers are now fighting with him. Nick, who often praised Adolf Hitler, has been vocal about his disdain for women, Muslims, the LGBTQ+ community, and others. In 2023, Fuentes fantasized about marrying a 16-year-old when he is older because that's right when the milk is good. If I'm 30 and she's 16, 14-year age difference. When I'm 50, she'll be 36. When I'm 40, she'll be 26. Then now we're talking here. Now we're cooking with gas, he says in a longer rant. He also said women don't age like wine. They age like milk. In a March 2023 livestream episode, Fuentes stated, "I think the Holocaust is exaggerated. I don't hate Hitler. I think there's a Jewish conspiracy. I believe in race realism." Fuentes attracted further attention during the January 6, 2021 assault on the Capitol, where he stood a few hundred yards away from the building, shouting, "Never relent," through a megaphone. While Fuentes did not enter the Capitol himself, 5 of his Groyper associates did and were later charged. The FBI investigated Fuentes for several months, but ultimately did not file any charges against him. The Groyper Army is a far-right, online-based movement organized around white nationalist and America First advocate Nick Fuentes. According to the Anti-Defamation League ADL, the group consists of alt-right, white nationalist, and Christian nationalist activists who hold virulently anti-Semitic, racist, and homophobic views, often cloaked in rhetoric about traditional values and family.